Powered by Riverside FM.
Hey, freaks, geeks, and elites. We're Marley and AJ, and we're here to serve you a 3-course meal of this fortnight's hyper-focused flavors.
So place your napkins, because you know things in our kitchen gonna get messy. Let's get into it.
Moments of Madness, Episode 2. We made it. We aren't just
Episode
a one-hit wonder.
Take one. Well, we did predict 2, didn't we?
We did predict 2. At least we are meeting our original goal, and that's exciting.
Exactly. And if we continue, then we're exceeding expectations, and we can be very, very proud of ourselves.
Get our gold stars for 3 episodes. So what do we have on? I believe the episode title has to do with educational themes that you have come up with.
Yes. So I have, in conjunction with Crimson Llama, that's my son. If I refer to Crimson Llama, that is my son. So expanding our original thought process where we would try to at least hide the segments into some sort of generalized global theme. And since our book was about, a werewolf kindergarten and the parent-teacher association happening, we went with education. So today we've got the book club to discuss the book. Then we've got some fake news, and we'll see what Crimson Llama has come up with for us to try and spot fake news in. And then we've got a Today I Learned, where we will talk to you about where the word dunce came from and why dunce caps are a thing. So, yeah, I've managed to throw something together considering my week has been totally, totally messed up. And, Molly will try to be a bit more organised going forward.
Or not, and you'll just have, more of the same.
Yeah, it's hit and miss. Like, it's just standard ADHD. Either I'm super well prepared and organised, or I'm going to see what I do on the day.
Yep. Wing it. As speaking of educational things, as my kid's preschool teacher used to say, you get what you get, and you don't get upset.
Oh, I get upset by everything. No, your kid's teacher can't tell me not to get upset. As I discussed with your former manager this week, I am an adult, and no one can tell me no unless it's illegal.
This is fair. Or like Eric Cartman likes to say, you don't know me, I do what I want.
Look, I'm probably going to get everyone's disgust on this, but I really never got into South Park. Like, I watched that first movie, and I did like that one, but most of the shows were just like, not my gig.
For me, South Park was a real swings and roundabouts of things that I found genuinely funny and things that just hurt to watch for whatever reason. Either they were so socially awkward or just so gross out that I had to nope.
Yeah.
But I did like the Jerry Springer parody of Cartman doing the, you don't know me, I do what I want.
I might have to check that one out. The only things from South Park that have really stayed in, like, my immediate family circle lexicon is, like, $3.50. Yeah. How much do you need? $3.50. God damn you, Loch Ness monster! Yeah. Annoying. Give me no.
So segueing somehow from South Park to our book club.
Let's move on and talk about. Well, Loch Ness monster would probably exist in this world.
Definitely. Sounds like it. If they had a charity for chupacabras, they've surely got a Nessie thing somewhere. So we're talking about the Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association by Caitlin Rozakis. Do we want to do a little blurby summary of the story? I think you kind of already did one. Werewolf kindergartner.
Yeah, so mortal family, kindergartner gets attacked by a werewolf and turns into a werewolf, and they have to relocate to a magical community so she can go to a magical school.
Yeah, that kind of understands her special needs.
Yes. That's taking special to a whole new level.
And then, I guess, the end then of the blurb is that there's a bit of a mystery. There's more going on at the school than meets the eye, and parents get swept up in school politics, parent-teacher association politics, all the sorts of politics, and of course being a magical themed thing, there's like crazy life endangering events as well, and it gets quite thrilling.
Yep, apparently magic and mystical cryptid species does not excuse one from politics and capitalism.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like even if you have magic at your fingertips, you still get sucked in the same old greed and petty power wrangling that everyone else does.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated about the book. So in one or two sentences, what was your takeaway from this book so far? Loved it, hated it, somewhere in the middle?
In the middle. It was okay, but it didn't really suck me in. I think parts of it felt a little bit too cobbled together, thrown together, and too leapy. You know, I kind of wanted a little bit more, I don't know, something. Something was missing. I can't really put my finger on it, but something was missing. If it expanded out into a series where the world built out more, I probably would still read it, though. I just don't think it would. I think it was a bit too human. It had all the things that make me rage as when I was a parent and when I was a student, you know. The cliques, the exclusions, the snooty people who think they know everything. And I get that was part of the point, but yeah, like even our heroine, Vivian, the mother, I think she resonated a little bit too much with me, but at the same time was a little bit too stupid. Because, like, you know, I've very much been groomed to internalize guilt and everything is my fault and I need to fix it. And she had very much was like that, even though it was an accident. She didn't know about werewolves. There was no way she could have known her daughter would be in danger. She just took her hiking, you know. So, but somehow it was her fault. And she destroyed the whole family. And she had to try and fix it. And she started cutting her partner out.
It was her.
Yeah.
It was her fault for not saving her child from a deadly werewolf attack.
Yes.
That I could totally, I can totally both see the stupidity that in that, and also that, I kind of been there.
Yep. There were some,
despite being the most prepared person in the universe.
I think there was some of the more subtle themes were more interesting to me than the blatant ones. It's like not projecting your experiences that you went through as a parent onto this is going to be bad for my child. Particularly the father who equated being sent to Japanese school or Japanese camp because his father, who he'd never met and died before he was born, was Japanese, to learn about his culture, and he hated it and he was picked on because he was outside, and he automatically assumed that spending time with the pack and learning how to be a werewolf would be the same sort of torture for his daughter. And there was a false equivalency there to start with. And the fact that he was very pro just medicate the problem away, and the wife was very too much pro we all need to embrace this difference and just accept the differences. They didn't. So, towards the end, they did, but there was no balance between the two of, okay, so maybe medication could help while she's learning her place and we learn our place with the special needs werewolf child that we have and learn our own way. So those were the most, I think, interesting points to me.
Yeah. I connected a lot with some of the little details, but I was like you, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle where some of the like Mean Girls moments in the story hit too close to home, and I had to like take a step away from the book because it was making my social anxiety flare up.
Yep.
But I did love, for example, a lot of the chapters are kind of like official communications from the school, and a lot of those, especially because we're still in primary school in my household, just made me laugh hysterically because they were so spot on, but also absurd because it's a magical community. Like especially the one talking about the school supplies list.
Yep.
And then like there's some like commentary about that, and sort of a Vivian and Daniel kind of approaching this problem of getting the school supplies in totally different ways, where Daniel is just like grumbling, like, why can't they just supply the kids because we're paying them
So
enough
much,
tuition
yeah.
anyway. And Vivian kind of feeling like, yes, it's ridiculous, but we somehow have to follow the rules because that's what they said we have to do, so we must fulfill this. And like, I just love this line about colored pencils and pastels seemed excessive enough, but where was she supposed to get papyrus and herbs?
Yep.
Half the list could be found in the spices section of one of the better supermarkets, but the other half sounded like something from a botanic garden. I mean, obviously our school supplies were not quite in that direction, but like the fact that on our school supplies list, I'm supposed to bring each child with a full soap pump, to me, it just breaks my brain. Like, why can the school not buy soap in bulk
Yep.
cheaper than us all bringing our own individual soap pumps to school? And I'd happily just give them, I don't know, $20 for my kids to have their soap pumps
Yeah.
covered. Just, like there's got to be some economy of scales here that's just not being tapped
Yeah.
into or something. I just don't understand it. Like, I have to bring soap pumps, wet wipes, tissues, and like half of the stuff is just like hygiene stuff. It's not even pencils and things
Even
like
the
that.
stationery, like I was always a nerd. I loved news agencies and office works and looking
Oh
at
yeah,
stationery stuff, right? But when Daniel hit school and I was
yeah, me
getting like the
too.
book lists and everything, I'm like, what the hell are these things? And you'd have to go into office works and go, what's this? And like, oh yeah, that's, and they get it, which is excellent. But it just, yeah, sometimes it's just normal. I don't know, generational disconnect. You've been out of school for so long, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the themes of exclusion in the book, they definitely like triggered some old feelings, both as the child who was always new and being befriended just to be as a joke, to be set up, but also as the parent who doesn't know what they're going on, because our audience doesn't know, but I was a young mother. I had Daniel just before I turned 19, so I was always sort of excluded from a lot of the parent stuff because I was a child mother.
You don't.
Exactly. Like, I can be tried as an adult. I'm an adult, thank you very much. I really, really always resented child mother. There are plenty of people who get knocked up, do stupid things, then just live on welfare. Okay, fine, judge them all you want. I do. I got pregnant, got myself into uni, got a career. Why am I being looked down on? I stood up, I took responsibility, and it just always... It felt like I went from being a kid at school being bullied to being a parent at school being bullied, and it was never a good feeling.
No, that's not. And there were so obviously a school, a story about a magical school kind of garnered some obvious comparisons that were even winked at in the book with another magical school series that was kind of genre pioneering. But I love the fact that this particular magical school world embraced technology.
Yep.
The fact that there was a parents WhatsApp group, just
Yep.
that was for me like a thumbs up.
Yeah, and I did love I did love the thing in the book where she mentioned the WhatsApp group and Vivi was like, WhatsApp, and she's like, well, yeah, there's plenty of mystical ways to stay in contact, but they go awry and birds get lost, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I just love that WhatsApp was the easiest way for them to all. But then also the point where there are just too many messages coming through on the WhatsApp group and she was getting too many notifications and she threw her phone across the room and smashed it.
I have felt that way about some WhatsApp groups that I've ended up with because of work and because I don't know. Yeah. I don't even know how they eventuate, but I assume it's because frustration at work means that certain parts of the team start having their own little discussion over here, and then as you find other people who agree with you, you drag them in, and you end up with this group where everyone's ranting. But, it happens. People are herd animals. They will find people who agree with them, and they will congregate.
Yes. Yeah. Social animals. And then a couple other, little tidbits I liked. The the school headmistress has a habit of watching
It's so
media on her phone. And the Real Housewives of Relaya
Yep.
is one that I would watch the shit out of.
Yep.
And I'm not a Real Housewives fan, but that one, like in the Cthulhu's mythos, I would watch that one.
Yeah. And I did love the idea
So-
of an underworld nymph running around wearing kitten and live laugh
and
rather than being an MLM
getting
gal.
sucked into multi-level marketing. Did you want to sum up? Like, do we want to do like brain squirrels out of 5? Like 3 out of 5 brain squirrels? I don't know. What is our rating system for books? Do we have a rating system?
I don't know.
How many stegosauruses out of 5? We can do dinosaurs, right? It's the theme.
Maybe I'd go 3 or 4. I think it was a fun read. I think it was light enough that even people who aren't intense bookworms would probably get some enjoyment out of it. But at the same time, yeah, it is a book that I basically read in a day. And there were some issues in there about that I specifically have lived through that made it a little less enjoyable for me. And as I said at the beginning, some of the writing did feel a little bit too disconnected and rushed in places. So, but otherwise, yeah, I'd recommend giving it a look.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. Loved the humor. Really related in some ways with Vivian, not in others. Really found it kind of triggering from the social anxiety perspective, but I did like the resolution. I did like that Vivian kind of learned to give herself a break, trust her husband, and work with him as a teammate and a partner rather than, kind of trying to shoulder all the problems herself and take on all the responsibility. And I really liked that she ditched trying to suck up to the mean girls and found her tribe. Those were really heartwarming events at the end.
That was an interesting thing, though, wasn't it? Through the whole book, you had her running internal monologue of reminding herself not to just want to make good connections like her mother tried to teach her, but then she was just trying to make good social connections.
Just doing it anyway, yeah. Like choosing the wrong friends for the wrong reason and letting herself get manipulated into not being nice to the people who turned out to be much more her speed and much more genuinely nice people.
Yep.
Yeah, that bit was a little bit, why did you do that, Vivian? But overall, I had fun with it. I'm not sorry I read it.
Yep.
I'd definitely recommend it to a friend who had a like-minded bent towards
Well, you already did.
speculative fiction and fantasy. Yeah. So there we go. All right. Okay.
All right.
So how are we doing fake news? Explain to me how we're going to figure this out without spoiling the answers.
Okay, so what Crimson Llama has done is he has set up in Notebook, because you know Notebook does tabs now. So he set it up with fake news, fake or not news, he's called it, right? And then he's got 9 headlines in this that I get to read out, and we get to decide if we think it's fake or not. Then each tab is the answer to each one of them as you go down. Now, I haven't looked at the answers because I wanted it to be us all to be on the same playing field. That's why we got Crimson Llama to find them in the first place. But yeah, we can discuss whether or not we think it's really that ridiculous of a headline or what the news article is or whatever however you want to play it. But I figure we can go through them one at a time and decide whether or not we think it's fake or not and see what the answer is.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Headline 1. Undocumented migrant, 24, is arrested after he pretended to be a teen to enroll in an Ohio high school.
Okay, so a 24-year-old who does not have a visa of some sort, I'm assuming.
I'm guessing if he's undocumented,
pretend to be a teenager and try to enroll in a high school in Ohio. I mean, to me, that sounds like it plausible. Definitely. I'm going to say real.
Plausible to me.
I think if it's fake, then I imagine it's just some small detail that's fake. I totally would believe that.
Yeah, I mean, the 24 pretending to be a teen worries me, but then I'm still traumatized by watching Orphans, so I totally see it being possible.
You know, we both grew up in the era of like high school TV shows that starred
That
actors
is
who were
true.
like 25 to 30. So
That is true. Yeah.
maybe
But like,
maybe I'm just spoiled by Dawson's Creek or something. I don't know.
but do American schools not have the same sort of process when you enroll them, where you actually have to show their like birth certificate and all of those documentation? Like,
I'm pretty sure that I had to, but I don't know. Maybe they tried to supply fake documents, search documents, or something like that. I can assume
they'd have to
what
have
you need to
some
do.
way of mocking them up, wouldn't they? Because undocumented
Yeah.
immigrants have kids that end up going to the schools and stuff, so there's got to be a way. Yeah, okay, I'm with you. I think it's probably true.
Okay, so a reel from me and a reel from Marley.
Yep. And the answer is true. Okay, link to the article.
Wow.
Yep, okay. They made the discovery after the migrant's baby mama revealed his secret.
Oh gosh. So how many semesters was this person in high school? Were they just trying to get a high school diploma or something? What was the motivation? I'm wondering.
He claimed he was 16 years old, wanted to enroll as a student, which he did in January, providing what he claimed was a Venezuelan birth certificate.
Yeah.
In March, the undocumented migrant moved into a home of a local family who had previously adopted children and housed exchange students. Her family was eventually granted permanent guardianship of the undocumented migrant and aided him in obtaining social security number and an Ohio driver's license.
Yeah. I guess if you have enough of a baby face, it's an effective angle to try.
So it looks like, so January 2024. So in November, he claimed that was when he made the claims that he was trafficked from Venezuela. And in May, the mother of his child contacted the new guardians and showed them birthday.
It lasted about 6 months.
Yep. So, yep.
But did anyone try to flush his head down the toilet, steal stuff out of his locker, or
it doesn't tell me in the article, but
take his lunch?
But the final line is that the undocumented migrant was arrested on Monday during a traffic stop. So, yep, there you go. All right, so number 2. Haunted band room turns out to be pranked by students working together. That totally sounds
sorry,
like
I missed the
a
first
reasonable
part of that.
headline. Haunted band room turns out to be a prank by students working together. I mean, totally sounds like something teenagers would do. That's got to be real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just who would believe that it's haunted in this day and age? I don't know.
Hey, have you seen some of the shit Americans are believing at the moment? And depending on where it is, you know.
Okay. I believe that it's a real headline, or it could be.
Yeah, I believe that could be real too. All right, ready for the answer? Drum roll.
And the answer is
fake.
Okay.
All right. I bet he had fun with that one. All right.
Okay.
Headline 3.
Our faith in humanity is already low.
Yeah, when you start in the sewer, there's nowhere to go but up.
Yep.
15 sets of twins are graduating from one New York high school.
That I believe, because I happen to know that the incidence of twins is actually increasing overall, because one of the contributing factors to having fraternal twins, at least, is maternal age. And as people like me start to put off having children, the likelihood that they'll have twins goes up quite a lot from age 30, actually. So if you're 30 or older, your percentage of having twins ramps way up.
That's interesting.
So my guess is that could actually be true.
That's still a lot of sets of twins, though.
But not identical twins. Identical twins, it's a
consistent thing.
Pretty much consistent percentage that you'll have identical twins across, there's certain, ethnic backgrounds that are more likely to have fraternal twins or not. Yeah, I think it's Asians tend to have fraternal twins the least, or something like that. But there are stats on it. Like, we kind of did all this weird research on twins when we found out we were having twins. But across all cultures and age groups, identical twins is pretty much a uniform percentage. But for fraternal twins, there are lots of different factors like your age and your ethnicity and stuff like that that can contribute.
All right.
There you go.
But then graduating at the same time, so that means 30 students in 1 year level are twins in one school.
Yep. Yeah, I can believe it.
I'm going to say fake because it seems like something maybe it was already big enough, but like, you know, Crimson Llama boosted the number just to try and trip me up.
Okay. I can believe that too, but I'm going to say real.
Okay, you go real. I'll go false. Right. Answer.
Yeah.
True.
Ah, because I know about twins.
Yeah, you do. I know about trying to avoid having more kids.
Yeah, well, so do I.
Yep, 15.
That's why we stopped at twins.
And it is one of the suburbs of New York City. Okay, so it's not just somewhere in the state; it's one of the suburbs of New York City. Headline 4.
So we're on headline number 4.
Better late than never. Library book returned 50 years after due date. I mean, that one sounds real to me.
I'm pretty sure I have heard. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have heard of that. I'm pretty sure I even remember a specific book title, which was, I think it was Black Beauty or something like that. I don't know. I remember reading that and it's stuck in my brain, but maybe I've got it wrong. But yeah, I think it's real.
Yeah, I'm saying real too. Right, answer is real. Let's go see.
Awesome.
Let's see.
And what book was it?
I'm going.
The important question.
I'm going to find. Going to the link to find out. It was a book of poetry.
Oh, a book of poetry. Okay.
Hang on. A copy of Leaves of Grass, a collection of poetry by Walt Whitman.
I know it well. Walt Whitman is one of my favorite poets. Favorite American poets, anyway.
I've never really understood poetry. Like, I can read poems and go, I like that, but I don't understand, having to get all of the right stanza lengths and all of that. It's like, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not pulling it apart any more than that. So I can understand why it took 50 years to get through it, from my perspective. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Number 5.
All right.
Uni teacher found using AI tools to grade classwork for him.
I mean, that has to be real.
Has to be real. Like, this is where we are now. All right. And so the
amount of times I've read headlines about somebody using AI tools in a really boneheaded way is just, it's got to be real.
False.
Oh, okay.
He got us.
Surely it's happened, though. Surely it's happened.
They just haven't been caught yet.
Yeah.
Okay, headline 6. Parents and teachers warn not to ridicule school kids who identify as animals.
Oh, that feels too much like woke baiting. I'm going to say fake.
I'm not sure. Like, shit has gotten so weird lately that I'm just not sure. Look, I'm going to sit here and go, I hope that it's fake, so I'm going to say fake. But I really am not confident in that answer.
Could be true. We could believe it could be true, but we want it to be fake. So let's go with fake.
Okay, fake. Oh no, it's true.
It's true, is it?
Faith in humanity lost. What have we got here?
Oh, it's never there. It was already low. What? It was already low.
Oh, well, it looks like the furry convention is the video of choice for this one. Cool. Excellent. Teachers and parents in the UK have been warned not to ridicule or overreact to school kids identifying as furries. People with an active interest in animal characters with human characteristics. I mean, this feels like a bit bait and switch on the title.
Yeah, personally, I'm like, do we need to ridicule furries? Like, I have no interest.
I absolutely do.
But if it's not hurting anyone else, and you want to believe that you truly are a wolf on your inside, who am I to argue? I don't know. Live and let live.
I have less of a problem with furries themselves, and more of a problem with some of these things being forced to be accepted publicly, if you get what I mean. It's like, if you like doing that, you like going to your extent, to your expos and conventions and all of those things, fine, more power to you. But if you want to walk down the street on any given day in a really awesome, like, they are awesome, they spend a lot of money on these costumes and personas and stuff, then don't be surprised when people stare. Like, just really. But my judgment comes from a place of one of my workplaces was actually really close to where the furry convention in Melbourne used to be held, and it was held in summer.
Okay.
And
yeah,
just seeing these people.
Oh, that seems like poor planning.
Exactly.
That seems like poor planning. Summer in Melbourne is not when you want to wear a heavy full body thing that is meant to make you look like an animal.
So my judgment was never really so much about them wanting to dress up like animals and do whatever it'll take to relax them. More power to you, and more to do with you guys are idiots. Like, I'm here, like, there's laws against taking more clothes off. I'm too hot, I'm sweaty, I'm not happy with the world, and you're walking with a full mask and a full fursuit walking down the street. You guys are the definition of Darwinism needs to come back.
Basically, there are like labor lawsuits in Florida about people being forced to undergo that at Disney World. And they're doing it for fun and paying someone else so they can't do it.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, man. Okay.
All right. Moving on
from furries.
All right.
Now that we've enraged 2 of our listeners who happen to be furries.
All right. Yep. All right. Headline 7. School band director tased and arrested after refusing to stop music. Wow.
Assuming that it's in the United States, I totally believe that would happen.
Sounds about right. What do you reckon, Texas?
I don't know. They wouldn't use tasers in Texas.
Oh, you're silly me.
Real bullets. I don't know. Just kidding, Texas. It's fine. Just don't come and shoot me.
Well, as long as we stay in Australia, we're fine. They can't bring their guns here.
True. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna say real.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going with real. I don't trust anything anymore. No, real. Answer is real. Alright. Oh, it's in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Video shows U.S. high school band director shocked with stun gun arrested after refusing to stop music. What was wrong with the music? What's going on here?
Somebody really doesn't like marching bands? I don't know.
Broke out after he refused to immediately stop the band as it played in the bleachers following a gridiron game. Birmingham Police Department said it remains under investigation, but the band director resisted arrest and allegedly pushed an officer. Mims told Associated Press he is confused when officers pulled him from the director's podium to arrest him following last Thursday's game between Minor and Jackson Olin high schools. I was in shock.
Those Alabamans really take their football seriously, and you must not deviate from the script.
I was in shock. I just totally confused because I was pretty much just doing my job and I hadn't done anything wrong. I definitely did not deserve to be tased.
Yeah.
Who noted that he was shocked with the stun gun 3 times.
Oh, and that's pretty serious. It might be non-lethal, but it's still painful, and it actually can cause more physical problems, to be electrocuted like that. So.
Yeah, apparently on Wednesday, the 2 bands were doing what is sometimes called a 5th quarter show, in which the bands perform as attendees leave the stadium. He said he wasn't trying to be defiant, but was rather attempting to wrap up the song. We were at the last half of our song, he said. The body camera video released by police on Monday night. Officers are seen approaching Mims, the band director, as the band plays in the stands. They asked him several times to stop the band and clear the stadium. Mims continued to direct the band and replies to the officer, "Get out of my face." Okay, now we get a different story.
Why are the police enforcing when the band stops? That seems a little bit like overreach. Like, how many levels do you normally think you would need to go for before you escalate to the police? I would have think that there would be at least like a stadium admin who might go and ask them nicely first or something like why is it instantly the police jumping in and saying you played music for too long, get out?
Yes.
How is that their job?
Yeah, even on public schools, isn't that still private property? Like, the police have to be asked to come in and deal with trespassing? They can't just come in and go, stop playing? So there's got to be more to this story.
I'm not sure, but that seems like a way overblown response to
I don't know.
something that could have had, like, levels of intervention before that.
Yeah. Don't know if it matters or not, but he's also a black man.
Well, you know it matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yep, anyway, if people want to see more about that, we'll put the links in the show notes. There's 2 more. Do we keep going?
Yeah, why not? Let's finish them. Oh, 8 and 9.
We've got 8 and 9, yep. All right. Pack of wolves found in class days before school to start.
I'm going to say fake. I don't know why. A whole pack of wolves? There probably isn't one. There are not that many wolves left in the world. Unless we're talking about, like, I don't know, Mongolia or something.
Don't tend to like to be that close to built-up areas and lots of humans, do they?
I would think so. Yeah, I think usually wolves are pretty shy.
Yep, okay, let's go fake on that one. Hey,
Answer is fake!
I feel like I've gotten more wrong than right, so I needed a win.
We're better at gauging animal behavior than human behavior, apparently.
Animals makes more sense than humans.
Yeah, right. Despite the mockery of furries.
Yeah, they may actually be onto something after all. Just less fursuits in summer would be good. Okay.
Yeah,
Last one. Inside Victoria's Ghost Schools.
Ghost Schools. Inside Victoria's Ghost Schools. That doesn't even sound like a headline to me, but okay. I don't know. That sounds so stupid.
I'm going real. With true. Yeah.
Okay, let's say real.
Real.
Yeah.
Real. Yeah.
So what is a ghost school? Does the article explain what a ghost school is?
Inside Victoria's Ghost Schools, the classrooms with no teachers or students. Okay. How's it at school then?
Yeah.
Elmhurst Primary School in Victoria's West had just celebrated its 150th birthday when the school council decided to strip it of staff. Former principal Alison Cheetah said the unofficial closure was inevitable as enrolments had dwindled to 2. The community and families wanted it to stay open, but we had no new students coming in. Inevitability didn't make the end easier. It was the best years of my life working at Elmhurst, said Cheetah. Small rural towns become like family. Yeah, so looks like it's talking about tiny schools that are not officially shut down, but they have no teachers assigned to them. So they're still schools, but there is no staff. So therefore no students.
Right, okay. I mean, that's a different kind of ridiculous than I was mentally envisioning. But still, like, it's kind of one of those absurdisms of modern life. Bureaucratic systems that don't make sense. Yeah. But it's kind of a sad story where you have these communities that are, I guess, maybe they're aging out, where they don't have enough young families, and then they just kind of wither away. And yet you have people in, crowded urban settings, like, desperate to get their kids into a good school.
Yeah.
And find a decent place to live.
And Australia's got a lot of really, really isolated families and farms and whatnot as well. So I know the School of the Air is still a thing. So obviously we still have very, very isolated people, communities, families, etc. Sometimes a small town doesn't have enough kids to make an actual school viable. So
I wonder what they do though. Like, if they had 2 kids, those kids needed to go to school somewhere. Are they just forced into homeschooling?
Well, they either that or there are a couple of options for distance education in Australia.
Yeah.
School of the Air being one of them if they qualify, so what I'm about to qualify. Like, School of the Air is sort of a hybrid of homeschooling and radio, internet, video education. I know when I was in high school in Rockhampton, I had a particular interest in ancient history as opposed to modern history, modern history is really what most of the Australian high schools teach. But they allowed the option for me to do that particular coursework through the School of Distance Education. So I was able to do it even though it wasn't offered at the school officially. So so Australia does have some good things going on. I don't know if they still do it now. Obviously, I'm much older now. They might have shut some of that down. But I think maybe it's something that we should consider more again. Because, I think people, like, especially kids, their options become a bit restricted by location for school. And if they've got a particular passion or interest, you should always endeavour to help support that. And if it can be supported through, supervised self-learning through a distance education unit module in a library or whatever, why not? Especially at high school level, they should be able to foster some sort of independent learning sort of criteria. They're about to come into university where it's all their own responsibility, so why not? I have opinions about schools.
Actually,
so many opinions about schools.
Yeah. All right, let's do Today I Learned before this drags on too much longer. I think we only have 1 hour left of recording time. So.
All right. So, today, I'm in keeping with our education theme. Today I Learned is going to be about the origins of dunce caps. Just to play to our strengths.
First, I'm gonna throw in my random today.
Okay, yes.
This is a weird factoid, and it's not literally today, but it is very recent. So as you know, we have pet rats, little Addie and little Flower, and Addie is a bit of a sniffly little ratty baby, which is apparently very common for rats to have respiratory issues because their noses are so sensitive. But you can, according to the vet, give rats Duratus chesty cough.
You can pass on your bronchial infection to rats.
No, you can medicate them with Duratus.
Oh.
The over-the-counter cough medicine.
I didn't know that was a name for them. But
rather than having to get like special rat medicine, I can just go to the chemist and get Duratus.
That sounds cheaper. I
just give her a little tiny drop.
Excellent.
For her sniffles.
Budget win.
That was too entertaining. Like everything else about owning pets is expensive. At least I can just give this one over-the-counter cough medicine. All right.
Weirdly, that's the same as kids. Everything about kids is expensive, but at least you can get over-the-counter medicine. Okay. Dunce caps. You ready for this?
Dunce caps.
Playing on our strength?
I'm ready.
Yeah? Now,
which strengths is that?
Well, it's not self-deprecating humor and it's not self-esteem thing. The word dunce actually comes from a 13th century philosopher called John Duns Scotus, and he was actually quite the influential philosopher apparently, and medieval figure, and he got himself almost a cult-like following. And they called themselves Dunsmen, or Dunce. And then in the 16th century, approaching 16th century, during the Renaissance and the Reformation, his philosophies fell out of favour. So the new philosophy of strength basically vilified his following and started referring to people who were stupid, slow, poor judgment as Duns. So dunce became a word that meant idiot, basically. Now, where does the cat come in? So, apparently, Scotus... Oh, he was Scottish, by the way. He was actually a Scottish philosopher. Go Scots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hence Scotus.
Yep.
Yep.
So, apparently...
In that old medieval style of making everything Latinified to sound official and...
Well, apparently the name breakdown is actually Scotus is for Scotland, which is where he's from. Duns is actually the village that he was born in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the naming convention.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he took to wearing conical hats. There was some
pointy hats.
Yeah, it was some sort of metaphysical belief in reverse funneling, where the wisdom would be drawn into the top and then funneled down to the brain.
Pyramid power. My grandfather, this is no joke, my grandfather was into all kinds of alternative things, and this was before I was born, but reportedly had a phase where he was into pyramid power and had a little pyramid that he put over his razor blade to keep it always sharp.
Oh, there you go. No.
So this was like the brains version of
Yep.
pyramid power with a pointy hat.
And the
to
interesting
funnel
thing is,
knowledge into your brain.
I couldn't find any concrete agreement, so there's still a bit of a mystery about whether he liked these and came up with this idea because wizard caps were that shape, or if wizard cap became that shape because they were inspired by him. There doesn't seem to be a definitive, someone has put their foot down and said, it's this or this. There's just a bit of a, there seems to be around the same timeline. And I think it's kind of funny that it ended up being that in our modern day, wizard cats are cones, dunce cats are recognised as a symbol for stupidity, wizard cats are intelligence, and they're both still equally valid, apparently, nowadays. So apparently, you know, it...
But if you're in a cartoon, your dunce cap usually says dunce on it to help clarify the difference.
And if you think about that, right, it says dunce on it, right, but the only people who can see it, like you don't see it and go, oh, I'm a dunce. Other people see it. So apparently other people are too stupid to realise that's a dunce cap without it being labelled dunce. So who's really the idiot?
So who's the real dummy?
Maybe it comes with a side switch.
That's the question.
So if it switches down, it's a wizard hat and it's drawing intelligence in, and if it switches up, then it's dunce hat and it's drawing the intelligence out.
Like you could have a two-way flow, multi-purpose hat.
Multifunctional, yes. We do like to save on functions. Anyway, yes, I actually found it kind of interesting. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I could have dinner with any person who's dead, he'd be high up on my list of people I would love to have a chat with.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to dig into his brain.
You would be a good guy to have a beer with. What would you like to see a series made of, besides Murderbot?
Well, they are making that, just not fast enough for my liking. I'm really, really not enjoying this return to episodic releases of things. Can we just drop the whole season and make me happy, please? Anywho. Yeah, no. So when I was a teenager, Piers Anthony.
Oh, that is ringing some bells.
So he did a series called The Chronicles of Xanth, or whatever it was, and it was very much parody about stereotypes and stuff within fantasy and playing on puns and stuff like that. Now, I did see an article.
I've read all of them.
Yep. Saw an article recently by the younger generation pulling it apart and basically calling him a horrible, disgusting misogynist. And I'm like, does nobody actually understand parody anymore? Like, he was doing basically what Terry Pratchett was done, but in a different way. It was never supposed to be serious. Yeah. But that's not the series I'm talking about. He did one called Incarnations of Immortality.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I did a really embarrassing school moment about that.
I did an embarrassing uni moment about that.
My friend and I were really into, this was high school, we were both obsessed with Piers Anthony and read all of his books. And we had both read Incarnations of Immortality. And my friend was doing like sort of a book report in front of the class on one of them. And like, because I was just such a massive nerd with no social awareness, I kept jumping in with like excited comments. Having a moment of embarrassment at like 14-year-old me or
Yep. And like
I really liked Incarnation.
Absolutely love to have seen that come out as a series. Now, I don't know if you're the same as me, so and you did that back at school. I did it in my second uni course. So when I last checked in on it, it was only up to For Love of Evil.
Okay.
Which is, Satan. But he's since brought out, like, And Eternity, I don't know how I missed it because it was in 1990, so it was only a couple of years after that last one. But in 2007, he brought out another one called Under a Velvet Cloak.
That sounds familiar. I think I've read all of them, so I
haven't read that one, but I really want to because it's like the incarnation of night. So, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've got to get back around to checking that out. But it's so hard to get your hands on his books. He's just totally not a mainstream fantasy.
He's gone out of print and nobody... all out of print and
yeah, I really did like
I definitely read And Eternity. I read
Actually, no,
Under
I
Velvet
think I
Cloak, maybe.
might have actually read it in Andy Turner. That was God, wasn't it? That was good. Sorry, not God, good. Yes. Because,
And Eternity
yeah,
was like sort of, yeah,
and it was that little black girl orphan who ended up being the new incarnation of good. Just
something like
vaguely
that.
ringing some
And
bells in my
really,
back of my head.
I remember really liking the one about the fates, like
The
the
boat
Tangled
was good,
Skein.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. And also being a Green Mother, I liked a lot too, because I was really into like Greek mythology and stuff in that at that age. And so a lot of this
I liked
kind of
bearing,
like tied into that sort of Greco-Roman
yeah.
notion
I actually
of,
did like Bearing an Hourglass because like the whole concept of how it played out was actually really interesting instead of just like being Father Time and marching along, time living
mm,
backwards. I liked that.
mm-hmm.
It was an interesting take on it.
Yeah,
So for anyone listening
yeah.
who is not familiar with this series, each book is about a basic I don't know, universal principle. So the first book's about death, and the second one's about time, and the third one's about fate, and then it's war, then it's
And there are people who are
yeah,
personifications of those
yeah,
forces, kind of like in the
yeah.
Sandman, the endless,
And they
that
get
sort of notion. But you kind of become one. Like you
yeah,
start out as a normal human, and then you become one of these incarnations
yeah. The
of
handover is
some
different
universal
depending
force.
on what the force is. So for time, when he gets back to
Yeah,
um when he gets all the way back to like his birth or something, or there's something that he puts the time glass down, and the next person who's supposed to be it sees it and picks it up, and then keeps going backwards. So time
yeah.
actually runs backwards. Um, on a Pale Horse is the first book. I can't even remember. Does he accidentally kill Death and that her becomes it, or yeah, I think that's it, isn't it?
I think, yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was something like that. Like you kill death, and then you become the new death.
Anywho, yes, I would like to see that's how we got here. I would actually like to see that made into some sort of series.
I think that's our
I
show.
think
Let's
that's our
stop
show
there.
for
It's an
today.
hour
Because
and a
like
half of recording.
we'd be quite happy to just sit here and natter on forever, but we should probably put some
Oh,
boundaries
sure.
around it.
Yes, I'm gonna have to cut out at least half of what we talked
Yes.
about if I'm gonna get it down to 40
Yep.
minutes. Even more if we want it to be what we were originally aiming for. I think what the universe is telling us is that this just needs to be a 40-minute show.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
But
that's like what we talk about.
like I think so, and I don't think it's such a bad thing. Like I was saying, like when we chatted about it, and I was talking to Daniel about it, I was like, people pick up on whether or not you're having fun. So yeah, if we're
That is
enjoying
true.
ourselves, then that's more important than trying to tie to a clock, I think.
That is absolutely true.
And again,
Yeah.
if we're really just doing this for our own enjoyment, we only ever have 5 followers. Do we care?
No,
Then
we don't care.
we just do what we do and see what
And
happens.
to be honest, it's easier to edit out half of a show than it is to edit out like 2/3 of a show. So I'm being easy on myself.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on Moments of Madness. If today's antics sparked joy or a bewildered chuckle, give us a follow.
Check out our socials for more information or discussion on any of our topics today, or to recommend a book, movie, game, or topic for future episodes.
Until next time, keep waving those freak flags high and embrace the beautifully bizarre.